Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. This is the DCM561P DeWalt Cordless Trimmer, and today we're going to do some maintenance. I'm going to show you how to remove the head, how to remove the spool, how to rewire the spool, and do some general maintenance. So keep watching to find out more. Okay, so for some of these maintenance tasks, we're going to need a couple of things. Now, one of them is a 13mm socket or spanner for the actual spool head removal. You're also going to need a Torx T10 screw to remove the actual head or guard plate, and also a Torx T10. That is also for removing the filter cover at the top of the motor. So let's change the camera angle and we'll take it apart and we'll go through it step by step. Okay, so first part of maintenance is to remove the filter cover on the top. So there's a mesh filter in here which allows the motor to breathe, but also for it to be protected from other debris, that kind of stuff. So what you're going to need first of all is a T10 Torx. I've got mine on a ratchet screwdriver. So literally all you've got is the 4 screws. So just remove those out. You don't have to take them all the way out. And obviously if you're doing this outside somewhere, try and do it somewhere so that if you do accidentally drop one of these screws, it's going to be pretty easy to find. So with the screws loosened off, you can see there is you've got the DeWalt logo and there is a mesh behind there, which hopefully you can just about pick up on the camera. So there's a fine gauze mesh there. So you can use a toothbrush or some kind of brush, paintbrush, whatever it is, or just tap it out and clean the top off. Ideally, if you can with a brush, just give it a brush off and get rid of any loose debris. And also you can do the same in the motor area. Obviously making sure that when you do any of this, that you have removed the battery already. That's pretty important. So once you've done that, you can put the cover back on. And again, this is a Torx T10. The screws themselves actually thread into this plastic body, so don't over tighten them because you will easily strip the threads. Okay, so that's the maintenance done on that part. So let's flip it around and we'll remove the spool feed, the head, and the guard surround. Okay, so the next part of this is to remove the spool feed, and we'll also remove the spool head so we can gain access to the guard cover. So to remove the spool or the spool holder, then all you have to do is push this in. It's spring loaded, so push it in and you want to turn it clockwise. And you should hear a click, and then you can pull the spool head out. Remove the spool line itself. We'll go back onto that in a little bit later to show you how to rewind that or how to replace that. So next thing is to remove this actual spool holder. So for this, we're going to need our 13mm socket or spanner, and we'll put that into a ratchet screwdriver. Now for this, all you have to do is, as you would normally, just remove the bolt. Now you do actually have to hold it in place, otherwise it will just spin. So hold it in firmly and just release the nut in the middle. Keep hold of the central part because it is spring loaded and you don't want it flying off in all directions. So try and remember the order of dismantling. So first of all, we've got our nylock nut. So pull this section off. So in the top, we've got our metal washer. You have the plastic insert, which goes full side up. So when you're replacing it, this bit here lines up on the bar. So that goes that way up and it fits into this section. Now ideally you want to leave it all actually as you've taken it out. It makes life a lot easier to do, but there you go, you can see how that fits in the normal setup. So feel free to pause this if you want to, so you can get a closer look at it. And that's how it should look. So the lugs on this plastic part should be towards the upper half, and this bit goes inside of that. And when it's pushed in, it should lock into place and not fall straight through. So next bit is to remove the spring. So there's a spring. Then we've got a washer, another larger washer. So the larger washer with the larger hole fits at the bottom, one with the smaller hole at the top. And then last of all we need to do is remove this plastic spool holder or spool housing. So this just lifts off, and this has got a square locator which fits on the locator there on the motor head, and that can go in, go back on in either way. Again, we'll come on to that a little bit later. So now to actually remove this housing. Now if you've bought this item as a new product and you've got it and you need to assemble it, obviously this is the bit which is probably going to cause you some grief because you're not entirely sure how to get it, because normally it comes with all the head attached to here, but you don't know how to get this on. So all you've got here is your 4 Torx screws. Now these are, as I said, Torx T20, so we'll quickly go ahead and remove those. So that is our 4 Torx screws removed, again T20s. So we put those to one side. Again, be careful, you don't want to lose them. Now this is the bit where you have to be a little bit careful because it'll only come off one way. So from this section, the top section, flip it forward towards you and then lower it down, and it will go over this lug at the bottom. So if you look at the actual head itself there, you can see there's an indentation there. So you won't be able to pull it off from the bottom first, it has to come up this side first of all. So now we've got this section out. Now what you can do as part of your general maintenance, you can clean up all this area, get rid of any grass or debris which is there. Again, entirely up to you. I find a brush is quite easy to use in this area, just give it a clean up. Again, not entirely necessary. You probably find if you've been using it for quite a while, there'll be quite a lot of grass build up around this area. I've actually cleaned this up a little bit already to make the video, so there we go. So that's the unit completely disassembled. You can, if you want to, put a little bit of WD-40 or some kind of anti-corrosive on here if you wanted to, if you're in a particularly damp area. Again, entirely up to you. Or if you're just replacing the cover here, the protective guard, then you can go ahead and do that. Also, probably a good idea at this point to clean up this area, which is where your line trimmer is. So if this is getting a little bit blunt or it's not trimming your line properly, this is where your problem is because this is probably blunt or has something over it. That can actually be replaced. There's spare parts available from that. Again, another couple of screws hold that in. You can get replacements of these from the DeWalt store, as you can for pretty much all of the items shown in the video. And I'll put links in the description so you can check them out for yourself. So that's it disassembled. So now we can go ahead and reassemble the unit. So as we said before, we've got this section at the bottom. So if you put the guard down and locate the bottom area first, hit this section, then lean the guard on there, then again our T20 screws, Torx T20, and then we can just go ahead and tighten those back up. Again, these screws actually do locate into a plastic housing, so don't over tighten them, you will thread them. If you do find when you're screwing them up the threads go in on a slightly funny angle, just turn them counterclockwise until they locate properly. Okay, so that is the guard reattached. So if you've got this out of the box now, that's the bit that's probably going to cause you the most problems. So next thing to do is to replace the spool housing. Again, we said we've got a cross section there, so that can go on either that way or that way, doesn't matter at all, it's absolutely fine either way. So the next thing to do is to start reassembling all this. So next thing to do, you can put the spring in. Then we can go ahead and put in our large washer. So the large washer goes on this top section. Now you'll notice if you've done this right, this washer when it's in will fit flush with this section of the actual, that main spool. So that should be flush. If it's not flush at this point, then you need to reattach something and make sure this is firmly attached or in the right place. So put the spring back in. So next thing is our plastic housing, which you should find this black plastic bit sticking out slightly from the bottom, and on the bottom we've got this elongated rectangle which goes over the top of this spline head here. So this sometimes takes a little bit of wiggling to get it into position. Push it down slightly and make sure that that is firmly attached. Then put your plate washer over, and then you can start re-threading your nut. This is a little bit tricky because it's under a spring load. So once you've got it on there relatively firmly, you can let go of it, and then to finally finish off the job, using your 13mm socket, just push down a little bit or hold it in place, and just lock that up. Now it gets to a point where it won't go any further. That's as far as it needs to go. So you should see there's approximately one thread or just slightly flush of the nut itself. So that is that section done and dusted. So the next bit is the spool itself. Now I'm going to take the wire off of this one so you can see how this works. So actually on the bottom of the unit, hopefully you can see that, there's a section there that says wind line and it gives you directions. So both of the lines are wound in the same way. On the inner side, you can just about make it out, there's a slight indentation, and this is where you start your line from. So starting with the furthest wire or furthest line away from the actual head, the bump stop head, what you want to do is get your spool or reel, or cable, and create a little hook in it. So just bend it round and you should find it quite easily to make a hook like that. So taking note of this, the wind line, so you have to wind it this way, so have the hook facing that way. And if you start off and hopefully you can just about pick that up. So that's hooked in there. And then all you do is just neatly wind it round. And when you get about 6 inches or so left on the end, just tuck it through and locate it into these bits here. Now, if you don't use the 0.8 DeWalt line on this, you will find this bit's really difficult to do, and you'll find it really difficult to thread it back through. So make sure you use the correct line. This is DeWalt 0.8. Again, I'll put links to this in the video description so you can pick some up for yourself. So now we can do the second line. So again, picking up on our little bit of where it hooks on. Just get your L shape or your hook, and that'll go in there, and then it makes it a lot easier to wind it around. If you haven't got a hook or you haven't made a hook, what you can do is you can always just put it in a kind of a screwdriver or some flat head, and that will keep it in place. So ideally when you're done, you want to have about 6 inches or so of spool just left on the outside there for threading through. So now what you want to do is these two sections need to come out through the hole on this side and also on this side. So if you get your head and try and put one through, obviously this cable's a bit frayed, so it's not going to be particularly easy, but we'll give it a go. So that one's gone through, and then all we want to do is repeat the same on the other side, and then feed it through on both sides. And push the head in and then twist it around counterclockwise until you hear the click. And that's now locked into place. And you can pull off any tension or any excess, and you can use some snips now. You don't want this to be much longer than where this blade comes, so we'll give it a snip there. And on the other side, yeah, we're pretty much okay there. So we've got roughly the same size on both sides. So there we go. There is our DeWalt DCM561P taken apart, put back together, and with some new spool in there. Okay, so there you go. There is how to disassemble and reassemble your DeWalt DCM561P 18 volt or 20 volt cordless trimmer. Hopefully this video has been useful to you. If it has, give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to click on subscribe for more content like this. Although saying that, we haven't done content like this since a little way back, but I thought I'd just do an update of this video. I did an unboxing of this a long time ago, and I didn't go into any detail on how to actually assemble the head or any of the kind of routine maintenance. So again, hopefully this video has been helpful. So I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.